Yo, what is up, our creator homies? We just came back from Canva Create, and honestly, I think a lot of startups are cooked. They released lots of like vibe coding tools, spreadsheets, FigJam, vibe coding, all that jam, and honestly, that event was pretty lit. It felt like corporate, colorful fun, with the splash of Easter in LA and Hollywood Park in this YouTube stadium. But yes, Justin, how are your vibes today?
Interesting. No, vibes are good. I just had a cake tasting for my wedding, so I am all caked up. Pause. But it was great day today. I'm excited to hear about Canva Korea. I couldn't make it out to LA, but I had some friends out there. So really interested to see what your perspective is. In terms of startups being cooked, that's kind of the same perspective that I've gotten from other people. So I would love to hear like just overall like how was the event for you?
That was really fun. I honestly just like didn't plan on going, but one of my friends couldn't make it, so she transferred her ticket to me 2 days before. It seems like a lot of
Mm.
people fly in from all over the place. Meanwhile, I just like took a 20-minute Uber there. Um, but I met so many great people. I feel like the people I met, a lot of them recognize me from LinkedIn, which was pretty cool too. I didn't know that would happen, and a lot of people there are mostly like corporate people. One thing that really stuck out to me is how many like social media platforms they have integrated into Canva. I spent a lot of time in the LinkedIn activation where their whole activation was like having these slots for people to film their first LinkedIn video. And I got some cards. Wait, I can show you. I have some goodies to take away. On the LinkedIn booth, if you filmed a video and posted it on the same day of, they gave you cards. And these cards are really cute. I really wanted them, so I did it. They are like cards you can take out and you can have like prompts of what to post on it every day. So there's like, what do you hope for the future of your industry? And it's like really cute prompts to make videos on LinkedIn. And I know the LinkedIn team seems to be, from what I've got, they're like really artificially pushing the views right now on video. So it's like the gold rush of LinkedIn video right now because a lot of their team are not struggling, but they're really, really trying to get people to like make videos, like even like talking head selfie videos, because they feel like more Gen Z gets on the platform, and it's more humanizing the workforce, kind of like towards the trends where it's going. So that was interesting. And a lot of companies like Meta, Amazon Creator Program, and Shopify, they launched like Canva plugins. So they're all like Canva apps they have booth there. Um, and I was also really surprised to see them launch like the vibe coding websites too. I feel like Canva is like expanding into many things versus I think Adobe was like their main competitor. They're mostly staying towards like designer tools, but Canva seems to be taking over, like trying to expand onto like all tech people, like product, engineering, marketers, versus Adobe. It's mostly designers, but I feel like Adobe Express is also trying to expand to more like marketers, product people as well. So it's kind of exciting time seeing who does that. And also, a leak was dropped on LinkedIn. Figma is launching a vibe coding tool. It was supposed to be launched during Config, but this leak went viral on LinkedIn. And I think that person got in so much big trouble. So, vibe coding, design, even like vibe presidenting, if you know what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
so no, so break that down for me because again, I have zero like technical background, and obviously I'm not from SF either. What is vibe coding? Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, yes. I realized that after being in LA, it's such a SF central thing. Like, nobody heard of vibe coding before. So, vibe coding is like one of those tools where you enter a prompt. Like, if you want to make like a bunny adoption site, it will make a site for you. You can deploy it right away. So, basically, just like enter your wish, and your wish is granted on a fully editable, deployable website. You can keep talking to the chatbot like ChatGPT to make changes to the website. So there's lots of vibe coding tools, but no one ever really talks about vibe debugging, which I haven't got there yet. But these tools are kind of scary. They're like replacing engineers. Um, there's also vibe designing, vibe marketing. A lot of people say Trump is vibe presidenting. So
Interesting.
vibe, yeah, it's a whole like Twitter thing that I has a lot of friends really into vibes. An example of vibe designing, it's like the whole Studio Ghibli meme, how people are generating images with 4.0 and displacing artists and stuff, just like displacing engineers with AI. And soon you'll have like more vibe marketing. So I feel like vibe, it's like overall the concept is like putting in a concept, and then the outcome, it's like it's fully like out of your control, but you can keep talking to it and iterating it, like to generate it by the AI. I see more and more of that happen. It's like you just like put the input and the outcome is like out of your control.
Yeah, is that kind of like Adobe Firefly? I guess because
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more familiar with Adobe stuff. Obviously, like we've worked closely with Adobe on some things. Adobe Firefly is interesting. Like I've used it before, but it's same with most AIs, right? If you don't know how to use it properly, it can kind of get its own mind and start going all over the place, right? Did you get a chance to play around with whatever Canva's tool was for vibe coding, or was it just like the on-screen demo that you saw?
I just got it actually. I played around it last night. Right now, I think they're giving this away for free for the first million users. But if you download the app, the mobile app, you tap on the banner 3 times, you get free AI access for life. And normally I heard it's supposed to be paid. So I
Ooh,
actually made some websites. So just get the Canva app and like get it, log in, tap on the banner 3 times, and
okay,
you
I'm gonna
have
do
like the
that.
new AI tab. I've used it to make some banners and some websites and some games. And a lot of I talked to some people in Canva, and they're also trying to spread to more students, especially K-12, and helping teachers make the classroom more engaging, teachers making templates, and bringing more fun and developing apps to the classroom. So it's kind of exciting and kind of like interesting in the sense that I didn't expect Canva to expand so far into the industry. And I just feel like Adobe and Figma are gonna have to work really hard to catch up too.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're the ones catching up, right? Because the whole talk, what was it, 3 years ago when Adobe tried to buy Figma, and the whole conversation was like Canva was a little bit too big for Adobe to buy at that time. Um, from your perspective, because you've gone to both conferences now, how is Canva Create different than Adobe Max?
Ooh, Adobe Max was the biggest one. I've been to Config, Canva Create, and Adobe Max. I feel like Canva Create, it was like mostly outdoors. Like all the talks were outdoors. It was really cute. It's very pastel. I love the colors. I feel like overall design, I think Config and Canva Create had the best designs. Overall vibes, I felt like Adobe Max felt the most corporate, but there was like the biggest. It's like multi-day, very big convention centers, so many things going on at the same time. Canva Create also had a lot of talks going on at the same time too, and a lot of booths. I feel like the booth size was just kind of similar to Config. Config did feel better, bigger. It was like multi-day. There's even more speakers. I feel like all the conferences have pretty like cracked speakers, like we're pretty experienced in the industry too. But the overall vibe, I would say it felt a little bit like Easter. Like, oh, this is the canvas bag I got. It reminded me of like the Trader Joe's Easter bags.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But they had like 4 colors you can choose one. It's really cute. I really like it.
Love it.
Um, yeah, so both of them have like pretty good swag. Um, but I noticed like probably Config is the most like based on my own personal experience, I had the most like design buddies members come up to me. It's most like friend, more social. Versus Canva Create was kind of a spectrum of like friendly, more like casual to corporate. In my experience, Config felt more like we're design Twitter meeting up in real life. We're just here to like talk shop about design. Versus Canva Create was like a little bit, it was like social, but also it was more corporate. Versus Adobe Max was more corporate, but there's also like people who are social too. And I assess that by seeing like when I meet people the first time, a lot of people are like immediately like, oh, what do you do? Like what's your job title? Like what company do you work at? And that's when I kind of see like how corporate it is when I assess the vibrations of something.
Now that you've also gone to South by, right? Like, were there any after or unofficial events at Canva Create that were interesting, or was it very much just whatever was going on in sort of like the conference center or the YouTube stadium, right? That you were in.
Yeah, so I don't think there was any, I didn't go to any outside events. I just found out that I could get a ticket 2 days before. I heard there's like an invite only executive event someone talked about like the day before, but it seemed like just a 1 day thing. Versus config, there's so many like pre-config and after parties. A lot of designers just want to hang out. And, but at the same time, a lot of designers I know, a lot of big designers are like, I don't say boycotting, but the way they put it on Twitter, they seem like they're boycotting config because they were just like really mad over the years of how the lines have gotten and how they can't get to sessions and how crowded config came to be. They didn't really enjoy it. But for me, I would still go because I just live in SF, and they gave me a free ticket every year. So I'm just like there to hang out and make content instead of like lining up for sessions. I As a conference goer, I just like go there to hang out with people. I don't really go to any sessions. I just like watch recordings afterwards. And I feel like, cause like I can rarely get the time to like hang out with people who are flying in. I might must well make the most of it. And if I really want to learn something, I will definitely like find it on YouTube later and watch it and like take notes and stuff. So that's why I feel like my experience as a config has been really positive, whereas other people who are like stuck in line for sessions was really negative.
Gotcha. Was there anything that blew your mind at Canva Create or that you weren't expecting, at least?
So many companies that have Canva templates. It's like so specific, like Meta
What do you mean?
templates, Instagram templates. Oh, at the booths, they were showcasing their templates. Like Amazon Shop has their own Canva templates, LinkedIn templates. It's kind of like CapCut, where they have like the text overlay templates, but like LinkedIn branded, but for Canva. It was really specific, so that was kind of surprising. Trying to think. I realized that I was like personally a bunch of people recognize me from LinkedIn, but they're all like CEOs and VPs of like big design companies, and they liked my authentic content on LinkedIn. And I was like really honored by that. And I also invited them to the party I'm hosting tonight.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that.
It's like authenticity, but yeah, just the amount of discussion, like specific integrations and how Canva's like killing startups. Have you been to any like design or any conferences that blew your mind?
I mean, South by is probably the best one. And then I would say also the Creator Hotel at VidCon. Again, VidCon itself is kind of but the Creator Hotel at VidCon is just a really interesting space because you just don't know who you're going to run into because it's very much exclusive, like who knows who to get into that spot. Like you can't just walk in there. I think it was 2022 where Mr. Beast had the presidential suite there at VidCon and he was hosting just like poker tournaments the whole time during the conference. So I think it's like for me, I'm very similar with you. Like I could care less usually about the sessions that are happening at an event. Like I'll go get my session to usually get my free ticket from whatever event that it is that I attend. But the real magic for me is either meeting people at companies that are attending or like friends, like you said, that are flying in. That's usually the best part. Features and stuff like that, I mean, it's going to get clipped up. It'll probably pop up on my For You page or it'll show up on a LinkedIn recap post the next day. I'm not really there for that. I'm there to build new relationships or keep the ones going that
Yeah,
I already
same.
have.
I came in like 30 minutes at the keynote because I was working in the morning. Um, and I met a friend who exited Uber the same time I did, another Uber, and we just like explored. And also for content creators, this is a big hack, is when everyone's in the keynote in the beginning, this is your time to get content. With all the cute decorations. We filmed so much content. When there's no one around, no one like photobombing us. So that's what we did instead of going to the keynote.
I love that. How many people go to Canva Create?
I saw it was 4,000 and it was sold
Okay.
out. And I was just
Wow.
desperately DMing the PR people to get me in. And then my friend texted me saying that
Let's see.
you could have my ticket. Yeah.
Let's see. Adobe Max, not capacity. What is it? Attendance. Let's see. Adobe Max 2017 is 12,000. I would say it's probably around like 8 to 10,000 now. Yeah, so 2024 it says over 10,000. So let's just say 8 to 10,000, right? Because people buy tickets, probably don't show up and stuff like that. Oh, okay, interesting. Is there, when you were going to Canva Create, were there any secrets that you found out about the creator world? Because we all know that, right? When we start talking to people, like you mentioned LinkedIn earlier about how it's kind of inorganic posting sometimes or boosting sometimes with posts. Any other secrets that you found out?
Oh, yes. I did not sign an NDA for this, but I'm going to pull up this message I got.
Yeah, we
LinkedIn's
don't have to mention
artificially.
names, but we can show messages though, or not show messages, but
I'm
talk
just
about
gonna
things
read
that we hear.
off. So I met someone who's like a marketing at. I met a lot of people who are marketing at LinkedIn, and I was just asking them about trying to understand what they think about LinkedIn and content creation, the future of it. And I was asking them like what kind of videos they like to see on LinkedIn, and trying to figure out like, because I know the LinkedIn team artificially pushes certain videos they find, and I want to get on that. So I asked them, what videos, what topics are you guys looking for? And so I'm going to read off this list. So this is the list of videos they are artificially pushing. Videos. My office snack tour. My I don't get paid enough for this moment. My office/work ASMR. Your non-negotiable for corporate survival. Show me your best Excel hack. How I really sit every day at work. What I do versus what my friends and coworkers do. Getting coffee with my younger self TikTok trend. How I would prepare for a job search in 2025, and non-cringe ways to self-promote at work. And so when I'm at these conferences and talking to these like companies I post content on, I'm really trying to understand, trying to like get some insider information. So that is LinkedIn. So make those videos and want to pop up on LinkedIn.
Okay, interesting. So that kind of aligns. I saw a comment on LinkedIn a few days ago pop up on my feed. I think I sent it over to you. It's from my friend Hannah from Salary Transparency Street. So she commented on someone's post. I actually see your comment on there too. But she said that my 2 cents ? Very recently, a LinkedIn team member asked me to produce content specifically for their focus areas, and this content would be highlighted in the feed. I asked if that work would be compensated, and they said no. Our videos used to get millions of views, but now a couple hundred. Seems like they're cherry picking what they want to see trend, and they aren't compensating creators for that work to make their platform, quote unquote, better. And so I thought that's, again, little LinkedIn tea there, right, from Hannah. She's all about transparency, so I totally understand where she's coming from. Creates very similar content to the stuff that you've been doing with designers around salary, transparency, and things of that nature. I would argue she's probably one of the first people that did it on specifically TikTok. That's how I got to know her. But that kind of like your message kind of confirms her comment on there, right? And I think you can look at it 2 ways, right? You can look at it from the Hannah standpoint, which I do believe she's at a point in her career where she can say something like that because she's big enough, she's got other platforms, and she's allowed to say things and call platforms out. But at the same time, TikTok did that at the beginning too, right? Same with Instagram Reels. All of these platforms do that. Whether they want to admit that they pick and choose what trends on platforms, realistically they do, and there's typically a button that they get to pick. I mean, Grace, you and I even know too from some of our conversations, there's literally someone that's usually the curator of whether it's said list, whether it's said content that gets boosted, whatever it may be. So I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary from a social media platform. Whether it's right or wrong, that's kind of up to you to decide. But I kind of align with you, Grace, in the way of like, look, social media, it's a game. Whether you like the game or not, you should know the rules and how other people are playing. And that's kind of up to you of if you want to play by those rules or not. And people like us, we just want to share what those rules, what those secrets are, kind of like that list that you just shared. So now if you're listening, like you got a little inside track on what LinkedIn is looking for from a content standpoint. It's just up to you if you want to create that content or you want to be like Hannah and say like, we should be compensated for that content. I don't know. I just wish LinkedIn had some sort of like CPM or AdSense model that you could get some money based off of the views.
Yeah, I agree. It would incentivize so many more people to post more videos on LinkedIn correlating to the goals of LinkedIn. We love y'all. If y'all listening, I know some of y'all on the LinkedIn team listen to this. Happy to support in any way in making that happen. But yeah, I read that as right or wrong is interesting because I feel like social media is a game, and it's important to remove yourself from the outcome of your post. Like remove yourself from the content and just do it for the vibes. And I feel like even though I never get paid from LinkedIn, what gets me keep posting on LinkedIn, I'm not sponsored by LinkedIn to say this in any way, is they connect me with sponsors who want to sponsor my content. It comes in like different ways. So I still think it's like worth it to make content on LinkedIn, in my opinion. But also people can have different ways of looking at it too.
I agree. I think if you're going to create content, you should create content, right? But you have to commit regardless. And like you said, like social media is a game. You need to learn how other people are playing it. But then it's up to you in terms of if you want to play by those same rules. Like, look at all the Mr. Beast copycats. Yes, you can look at them and say, oh my God, they're just copying Mr. Beast. But like, they're getting views, and the views are paying for their house, their car, their lifestyle, whatever it may be. So who's right? Not necessarily anyone, but it just depends on which side of the pendulum you want to be on. And again, it's a game. Whether that's good or not, that's not for us to decide. These platforms are making money, and they're making money off of us, unfortunately. I just wish they gave some of that back, like how YouTube does, and other platforms with like a CPM basis or AdSense or something like that.
Yeah, but I have high hopes. I feel like LinkedIn's been experimenting with a lot of things lately. Like I remember LinkedIn's. Have you ever used LinkedIn Stories?
I saw it. I've always felt like it was always going to flop. And it did flop. Like, they got rid of it. I think LinkedIn has done a lot of tried to do a lot of copycatting over the past, I would say, since COVID, essentially, since they've really kind of gone more into content. But I do think that they're at a spot right now where if they curate and, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Build the community properly. I don't think they've done it properly in the past in terms of the creator community. But if they do it properly and they nurture all the people that came from Twitter, I think there could be a serious place for like professional video content or professional written content on the platform.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I have high hopes. I've seen them launch like LinkedIn games. I asked them like why at Canva Create, like why? And I'm just like so curious. They said a lot of people use it for team bonding, but it's not so random.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, you work corporate. Would you be playing, I don't know, Farmville with your friends at work?
Probably, actually.
Okay, well, you worked at EA, so I guess that's a little different,
that's
right?
why. But I don't know if I used to at internet interned with surgical, which was like more corporate. Probably not. Medical devices, serious business, suits and ties.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think LinkedIn games is something that's really gonna pop off. It's interesting because Netflix launched their games thing too, right? And apparently that's been going pretty decent. I feel that LinkedIn has a role because, right, if you're working, you can just scroll on LinkedIn and no one's gonna really get mad at you, which is funny because it is just a social media. But YouTube consumption is moving more towards TV. I think it was like almost 50-50 now of the percent of YouTube that's viewed on TV versus viewed on mobile, which is kind of crazy if you think about that. So it's like, well, what's taking up the void on mobile, or what's taking up the void on desktop? I would say there's no real competitor when it comes to social media on desktop. Maybe Twitter before, but I don't think many people are using desktop Twitter anymore, especially with like, I think it was TweetDeck kind of getting throttled and everything like that. So I don't know. Do you use any other socials when it comes to desktop? I guess the only other competitor would be Discord or your company Slack.
Yeah, LinkedIn. I mostly use on my desktop actually. LinkedIn. I feel like my Facebook feed knows me pretty well, and it like shows me a lot of like funny articles and funny memes too. Facebook a little bit. I like going on Facebook more because I'm trying to study it. 'Cause I feel like Zuck is trying to make it cool again. I want to be one of the first ones to adopt.
I
But
love it.
LinkedIn, yeah, I feel like Instagram, TikTok is very phone, but I doom scroll LinkedIn like when I wake up in the morning too,
That's
like
so
on my
interesting.
phone.
I do not touch LinkedIn like at all, unless it's a message from someone that I need to talk to. Okay, last question on Canva Create topic. Is there any information that you plan to act on that you learned from Canva Create, whether it's a secret, right? Whether it's something that you heard, whatever it may be, that you feel that it'll allow you to make more money?
Yeah. Another secret I heard from that I did not sign an NDA for, they showed me on their phone. It's gonna be rolled out to more people. It just hasn't been rolled out to me yet. It's like on the phone or even on the desktop in your feed, in the videos feed, there's gonna be like prompts and you can like add your own video to the
For
prompt.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, and then those videos get boosted. So I think the list I got sent was probably like the prompts they are curating for. Um, and in terms of like monetization, you think on this a little bit. I feel like overall, the more I post, the more I increase my surface area of luck, and the more sponsors I get. Um, and currently in life, I am low key, high key, putting up a conference in a month, and I had like basically most of our sponsors confirmed, but I realized I can make a shit ton of money by doing outbound and by doing my Adobe Ambassador challenges, because each post pays almost 2,000 each, and each video takes me like less than 2 hours to make. If I just like do all the challenges, it could be a lot of money, and it's up to me to look out to these challenges, up to me to do these outbound. Oh, I outbounded like $40,000 worth of sponsorships in 2 weeks too.
Oh, cool. Amazing.
Yeah. So
We got to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can talk
I
about it now.
will.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that too, how I got like 40K this year so far, and 30K was made. Yeah, 40K was this year, so year to date. 30K was like invoiced in the last 2 weeks.
Amazing.
I even got this like big company to confirm and pay me 5K in 2 days too.
There we go.
So I just
love
realized that, yeah, I feel like when I go to conferences, my goal is business develop and content. I didn't get a chance to do that many street interviews like Canva Create because I was going by myself. I didn't have one to help me film. And at Figma, I'm trying to like ask designers what their salaries are. So I'm gonna be very serious about street interviews there. But Canva, when I came with the mindset, I was just like business development to Grace. I need to get sponsors. I'm here to like do some biz riz. Yeah, so I actually hit up a bunch of sponsors, like because companies sponsoring the conference, I want to see if they want to sponsor my conference. Target audience can be similar. So that was pretty useful in terms of business development. So how I'm gonna make more money?
So BizRiz time.
Yeah.
Break it down. Like what? So you saw who was sponsoring Canva.
Mm-hmm.
You then did what? Like talk to me how it broke down in terms of reaching out. What did you say? Did you confirm it at the conference? Is it follow-up stuff? Like talk me through that whole kind of process.
Yeah. For the companies that I already know, I would go to the booth and ask them like what are they working on, what are their goals, like why are they attending Canva Create, what their future plans are, what other events are they attending in the future, and then I'll send I'll get their email or the number, and then send them the sponsorship deck and have a follow-up call with them too afterwards. But a lot of times these companies that are sponsoring Canva Create, they just want to get in front of more creators. And our conference is more designers and founders, which wasn't the right fit. But I still make sure to add them on LinkedIn in case they see. But adding on LinkedIn is such a hack if you're post on LinkedIn, because I've connected with so many people in the past that I just like talked to once, and they seem like in a position of power. And they just see my posts and they remember me. They like become fans of me. And when I need money or when I want to work with them, they'll reach out in later time. So you never know. So like I'm always like thinking long term in terms of relationship building, but for short term, I'm just really trying to understand what their goals are, what their pain points are, what their future plans are, and see how I can help them achieve those goals, whether that be like getting them in front of a bunch of designers for my conference. But Canva is a tool, like not a lot of designers were actually at the conference because most designers, they use Adobe and Figma. So it's mostly marketing people. So in terms of like BizRiz, it wasn't too much of an alignment, but I've met the founders of like Typeface, like Noun Project, and like a font platform. And they were fans of me on LinkedIn already, and the CEOs and the VPs and everything. So I'm going to have a follow-up call. I just met them. They weren't sponsored at the conference, but I just met them organically. I also met the people at Yelp too, and people at Canva. But we have Adobe sponsoring our conference, so we can't have them this time around. I had to be really careful in not working with competitors, because it's not a good look on the sponsors. So
Yeah. Especially I feel like in the design space, right? They're very touchy about
They
who you work
are.
with, even in the creator world too. Like when I was doing stuff with Jerry, and we signed one of our sponsors, they had like a whole list of other creator economy companies that we couldn't work with, and like some that we kind of figured from a competitor standpoint. Others were kind of like, we're like, this is kind of a stretch to be considered a competitor with you guys, but okay, sure. So yeah, it is interesting to see how touchy some companies get when it comes to who you can and can't work with.
Yeah, so I have to be careful about that when I talk to people. Like, I talk to a lot of people from Canva, so I'm trying to get them to sponsor something else. I work with Adobe a lot, but they didn't pay me for an exclusivity, so it's fine. I think Canva's a great tool. I think Adobe's a great tool. I can be friends with everyone. But when it comes to like an event, putting them in the same room, I had to be careful about that. Um, yeah, so I just really try to understand. And also like how I got to so many sponsorship was um, I'm in a big time crunch and I'm very desperate. So I invite all my friends as VIPs to come if they're super connectors. So I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm hosting this event. Do you want a free ticket? Here's a code. Or are you like, do you want to come? Do you want a free ticket? And then I'm like, by the way, do you know any companies who'd be down to sponsor who's trying to get in front of more designers and founders? And I got like warm introductions to these people. And that way, just giving free tickets to my super connector friends and asking them, like giving them a favor and like asking for a small favor of my own. Um, Also like posting on LinkedIn, be like, hey, we have Bolt.new as a title sponsor. Bolt.new is a very sexy startup right now because they raised a shit ton of money. We have Adobe, we have Weaver, we have Context VC. With space for a few more. Really, we have unlimited spaces if there's no conflict of interest. But we just have a few more spaces left, confirmed by this date. And then on a sponsorship packet, I have like the prices. It's like we have an early bird price if you confirm by a certain date. So that. So basically, I got like a title sponsor and two gold sponsors in the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Amazing.
So I was so
I
stressed
love
about
it.
it. Yeah, before.
I know. I think you talked about it in one of the previous episodes about like, all right, I think it was what, 45 days at the time
Yeah.
to get 40K essentially in sponsorships, and you did it in 2 weeks. So, hey, that's amazing. Shout out to you, Grace. All right. Anything else? Any last things when it comes to Canva Create or anything before we jump to our next topic?
Yeah, TLDR, people didn't go to Canva Create and how to make money is like LinkedIn videos and going to conferences to not just like attend the sessions, you can watch the sessions later, but use it to like connect with like sponsors at the conference and make content. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So I wanted to talk about LinkedIn, or maybe just get you to audit my LinkedIn, because I was doing really well when I was posting back in, like, let's just call it 2018 to 2022, right? And then I haven't really posted over the past year and a half, 2 years or so, like consistently, for sure not. And even when I was doing one off or two off posts over the past year and a half or 2 years, I would get pops of 10K, 50K, 80K, 100K, or whatever here and there. But I've been like trying to post a little bit more consistently lately, and man, my views are trash. Like if we're going the last 10 videos or 10 posts, let's see, 1, 2,
You share your
3.
screen?
Oh yeah, let me see. Okay, so last 10 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So literally 10 posts, right? This post did great from you. That's or
Nice.
about you. That's the only post that has done more than like 3K in the past 10 posts. So 2.9, 1.9, 2.2, 1.3, 1.9, 900, 1.6, 1.3, 1.4, and then this is at 600. I don't know what's going on because I don't think that I've like really changed anything, but maybe it's my hooks and things of that nature. But I want to try and figure out LinkedIn, obviously, to promote this podcast mainly and like continue to build my brand, because I think LinkedIn's at a unique spot right now, just from our conversations and other people that we talk to. But it is really interesting to see how I cannot crack this code ever since that one post that I did, like tagging you within it.
I really like your hooks, the numbers, and I think your hooks are really great and they make me curious. And I like how you spill up actionable advice and mixing text posts and videos. I did notice a lot of people say text posts don't do very well. Text only posts, so adding like a photo or a video to it. But it's interesting because I've noticed like your videos don't get as many views as what I've seen in like videos mostly. Mm,
Yeah, like for me, it's weird that I haven't gotten past 5K in the past 10 posts. Like,
yeah. I think your quality of posts are great though. You share a lot of insightful information. It's relevant
and so that's
too.
what my thinking is. Maybe the algorithm is just maybe my content's too dense, right?
It is very
Which I don't
dense.
like. I think it is more dense than others. But that worked for me previously, and maybe I just have to change things moving forward. But it has been weird because like this post did the best. I thought that hook was really good, right? Everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to be Mr. Beast, but who's Grace, essentially. But I haven't been able to crack this since then, anywhere near it. And even before that, like this was the past one that got 5K. Then this is all 2 months ago. But yeah, it's I don't know. What tips, advice, thoughts from your end when it comes to LinkedIn?
Is there a way you can show the top performing posts in the year if you like go in your profile?
I don't know if there's a way to do that.
Oh, go in your profile and there's like the post view
Oh, oh, oh,
section,
oh.
and then go up,
Yep.
go up, yeah, post impressions, 823 posts, and then filter by past year, past 7 days, go up, yeah, past 360 days, and then let me see that.
Again, have not posted, right? Top performing posts right here. So yeah, it was that one.
Hmm.
But see, it's just like, let's see if this loads. And for those who are listening and are wondering what we're talking about, make sure to check out our YouTube or Spotify because it's going to have the video with everything like that. But like my average views is trash.
Oh, I think your content's good though. Yeah, I agree. Like it's probably kind of dense for LinkedIn, but I also notice a lot of dense content do pretty well for me on LinkedIn. Maybe trying experimenting with reading some of this stuff in like a talking head video format and adding some like section titles. Like there's one post I saw that I thought was really good. Trying to pull it up. Oh, the 3 tactics I learned to grow declassified media. So it could be like a talking head video you have and mentioning the 3 tactics, like 1, 2, 3, and adding like section titles for that. I've noticed that like advice does pretty well. Some more video. I think adding a graphic, like it could be like a thumbnail of a new podcast episode, or even using like GPT to like make something quick that's relevant, or like a stock photo, or like photo of yourself. I noticed photos of my face do the best on LinkedIn. I don't know why. People like seeing faces.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to start testing out more is like photos and videos with stuff. But yeah, I've been just like playing around with it just to see what I can try and do in the LinkedIn space. Because obviously I've been on LinkedIn for the longest now, and we've both seen sort of like the different ebbs and flows that have gone on to LinkedIn. Once you send me over that list of like the topics that we talked about a little bit earlier of what they're looking for, I'll probably start cranking out some content that kind of fits those niches. The other thing, when you're posting, are you posting via desktop or are you posting via mobile?
Oh, both.
Okay.
Yeah, do you notice that difference? Like
I only post on desktop. So that's why I'm like, oh, I wonder, especially for video stuff, if posting on mobile changes things or not.
I post most of my posts on desktop. Yesterday my post was on mobile. It got a lot of likes in the first hour, but not that much afterwards. I mostly post on desktop because on a video I like to add a thumbnail. You can only do that on a desktop. That's why. But
Wait, can you run through your top performing posts for the past
Yeah.
year? I think that might be interesting to
show
see
you.
from a like content standpoint.
Yeah. And I also like to know, I think you do really well in like doing like creator economy specific niche content. And I think what I can learn is like I need to focus on the niche a little bit more. So let me just show I'll show my latest posts. I feel like I went super viral, but also some of my latest posts have also tanked. So it's also me as well. Um, Let me show. So I posted this. I forgot to answer comments. I forgot to answer the comments for this one, but I posted this one like yesterday. It's about like, oh yeah, I'm really enjoying LA. Shout out to like people. Um, it only got like 69 likes, but it also got like 9 comments, and they're pretty like quality comments too that I need to respond to. Um, this one my friend Tara mentioned me. I got like so many LinkedIn connection requests from this. It was really cool. I just reposted that. This one I posted like a creator hangout I did. I forgot to tag everybody, but they all found it. And I forgot to respond to my comments too. I guess I responded to some of them. Um, I know this. I like to tag people sometimes, but sometimes when I post on LinkedIn, I post on LinkedIn every day. I'm rushing to a meeting and I forgot to tag them because tagging takes so much time, but it helps people see it. So I'll tag everybody in the photo. Um, and I've also noticed my LinkedIn lives have tanked over the year because back in the heydays of COVID, I would get like 600 people watching live. Now I get like 50 or 20, 50 most,
I feel like they're
30-ish.
probably throttling live,
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah. So it's kind of sad. Yeah, this new conference drop. This one, I dropped a link into it. I heard link is a myth. Like this one got like 69 likes, had a link. This one had no link. It also got like 69 likes. Um, and yeah, see, my views have not been doing too hot. Like most of them have not been doing 10K. But this one was a meme. I saw a lot of people do action figure things. This one got 20K.
Mm,
So, um, yeah, this one got almost 10K. It's like why ever raise VC. So I answered like a question I get asked so often in my DMs. This one surprisingly it's a video, outfits video. We only did 8K. Um, April Fool's Day. So honestly, like my views have not been looking as sexy as I wish I thought. But this one was like an article I wrote. It got like 30K. Day of my life 5K. Even though LinkedIn said they pushed it, so this is just the data, my own personal experience. Subway Southwest got like 10K because people like it's like newsworthy. This one tanked actually, financial advice, which is surprising because a lot of my videos when I interviewed tech bros on their salary, they did so viral. So this one only did 3.7K. This one 33K because I talked about a spicy niche topic about ADP list. Yeah. So like my views kind of sitting like around I'd say like 7 to 8 to 10. Oh yeah, this one designer salaries. This one I thought it would do better because it's Texas salaries, but I guess people interested in Silicon Valley. So like I feel like I can kind of have like, oh, this one got 50K views. I was just like this PR statement about some drama in the design community. Yeah, I made it like I was like so proud of my views. I made this. But LinkedIn is such like a hit or miss.
it seems like a volume platform for sure.
Yeah, like my views have like bipolar or something. Like there's one like 4.5 million where I asked about their salaries, and I have another one that did well. This one's 74 million. I got recognized on the streets of SF for this one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, it's not you, it's me too.
Okay, I think we're gonna figure this out, right? Maybe I think the interesting thing with LinkedIn is I have zero idea what the algorithm cares about. Like with TikTok, when we were growing Declassified, I knew that if a video had what was it? Like if a video had or if a video was over 45 seconds and had 50% watch time, you were almost guaranteed 1 million, if not 5 million plus views on that video. Right. Again, this is back in 2020, 2021. And so now views have gone down. Like you need to perform a lot better to get that amount of views. But with LinkedIn, I don't like, there's no ratio, at least that I've seen, or a pattern that I've seen of like comments to views or likes to views, or I don't think you can see percentage of watch time to views or anything like that. Right. And so it's been really hard for me to try and decipher how or what LinkedIn cares about. Like Instagram is very much, from everything that I've heard, all about shares. Like if you get people to share the video, then even if the video doesn't have likes or anything on that, it'll typically do well, because all that Instagram's algorithm cares about is shareable content, which I also think that's why Instagram is, I would say, the best community, like short form platform out there, short form video platform out there, because that's what they incentivize. But TikTok, I used to know what it was. It's changed a little bit, but still very similar. It's just it's random, but it's only random because of how the algorithm works, in the way that it literally shoots out your content to random people. And so if your content, or typically if your content is not valuable to masses, it's very hard to do consistently well on TikTok. Versus LinkedIn, like I don't understand what it's catering to or favoring or anything like that. I'm not sure if you've ever like tried to dive into analytics a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense to me.
I've noticed like just drawing some patterns of my top performing posts over the year. Wow, I said like almost 100 million views in a year. Crazy.
Shout out to that one video.
Yeah, shout out to that one video for getting 74 million.
I love it.
Wait, are we sure? Oh, yeah. Okay, so like I noticed that my top three performing views are start with a question. How much do people make? And yeah, like this format kind of works. This format, I tried this in the Texas one, but it didn't really work as well. But this one works.
I think your hook was different. I think your hook was different for the Texas one. I think that's the main reason why.
Yeah, I need to find that one. That one's like buried down. I think that one. Wait, what was my hook for the Texas? Somewhere down. How much do designers make in Texas? So,
I guess it is similar.
Yeah, so like it's not always like a formula they can follow. Yeah, how I landed its job. It's like everything about salaries and job stuff. Exposing. You need two different resumes. So like information dense content like this and videos.
But you like see what I mean though? Like I can't see a pattern. So if you scroll down to those, right? Those got how many views? Like
which
even
one?
that one, right? Let's just say you stop there, right? So you got 368,000 views off of 1.3 thousand likes on there and 107 comments, right? But if you go all the way up, to the one that got 74 million views, right? You're at what, 11,000 likes? Like what's the percent? Like that percentage doesn't map at all.
It doesn't. Right? And if you look at something like 485K views, only 183 likes, but 368K views and 1.3K likes. It is so confusing. Yeah, I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. I have no, like, it makes no sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The LinkedIn algorithm used to make sense before, where I knew that like video content got less likes video content got less views, but typically a higher like and comment ratio than other content. Polls used to get the most views, but the least amount of like likes or comments on it. But if you got people to vote, then they counted that for like algorithm points, so to say. Text posts used to get the second most amount of views and like average likes, average comments, and then like text plus photo used to get most views, most likes, most comments, typically on LinkedIn. And that was probably from 2020 to 2022, again, when I was in sort of like my heyday of posting. Now, like, again, we kind of went through some of these. It literally looks like someone's just hitting a button on some of your content.
It really is. Someone's just hitting a button. I feel like as a creator, just focus on sharing like sharing authentic content, and it's all about the friends you make along the way. and work with sponsors who value you for your content, not about your KPIs. You know, it is kind of like
Yeah.
sometimes it is kind of embarrassing though when sponsors are paying you a
Yeah,
lot of
when a
money
post
to be.
flops.
Yeah, I'm just like
What
sad.
do you do, or what have you done if a post flops?
I would depends on my relationship with them, but I work with Adobe a lot and they don't care about metrics. Um they care about how many followers you have and the amount you get paid, at least in the program I'm in, for Adobe Express ambassadors is determined by how many followers you have on your primary platform. When I worked with, I never guarantee views or guarantee anything outside my control. So when they send me a contract, I'm very clear, like, hey, this is my deliverable. I will make like a 1 to 2 minute video and it will mention your product once, but I'm not responsible for the outcome. I'm not responsible for people purchasing your product. Just making that very clear because sometimes I have to go through a lot of revisions of the contract to make sure they don't include that in there because I don't want to be held liable for that too. Like, what if they don't pay me because I didn't hit the number of views, but I spent a lot of effort in that video? It's like outside my control. Um, so I just try to be clear about the expectations when I work with sponsors.
Yeah, I agree. Like what I've seen other people do, or some people do in this space, and again, learning how the game is played, whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But what I've seen people do is, let's just say your post underperforms, they will run ads on it to make it seem like it performed. So,
Oh.
and they do kind of arbitrage. So let's just say, again, throwing easy numbers out there, right? Let's just say you got paid $10,000 to do a post on Design Buddies from some brand, right? And let's just say your average views that you pitched them was 100,000 views per post, right? So 100,000 views for a $10,000 post. And let's just say you put it out and you get 15K views on there. You probably think to yourself, ah, shit, like that's completely flopped compared to what we typically do for Design Buddies. What I've seen some people do, whether it's for sponsored content or for just their regular content so that their regular content looks better, is they do kind of like, let's just call it ad arbitrage. So you got paid 10 grand for that post. Figure out what your profit is on that. Let's just say your profit on that is 6 grand or whatever, right? 40% to your team, whatever it may be. They would then take whatever amount of money from that remaining 6 grand and run it to ads to get to around that 100K mark so that they make their brand that they're working with whole. And then it also allows them typically to continue that contract because they keep goodwill with the brand. Some brands know to look for that. Again, we've worked with a lot of marketers. I'm not going to say that they're not necessarily the smartest, but they win with their boss if they show that you hit the metrics that you're supposed to hit. And so they might not necessarily ask the questions of like, oh, is this organic or inorganic? So it's, again, slippery slope depending on what side you want to lay on. But that is a way that some people work in this space.
I see. I never thought about that way. I never ran ads in my life. But maybe I
Yeah.
could try and report
Again,
back
there's
on how
sneaky
it
ways to
goes.
like, I would say there's good ways to do it and there's sneaky ways to do it. So for instance, right, let's just say the brand that you guys work with at Design Buddies, I know you guys have a very international audience, right? But let's just say they wanted very American focused audience for this specific campaign. So obviously it costs more to advertise with Americans. So let's just say to turn that 15K views into 100K views, it costs 3,000 for American viewers, right? So now you're only making 3K instead of 6K, but then you get to potentially continue that relationship on. The sneaky way that I've seen some people do, and there are some big names out there that I've heard do this as well, is for their sponsored stuff. Let's just say their minimum is 100K views on something. They'll set their ad spend to India or Africa or something, right? Where it's super low CPMs. So instead of having to spend $3,000 to hit that 100K, they're spending $500 on it. And so now they pocketed 5,500, right? Instead of only 3K. And again, depending if that brand or that marketer working for that brand is smart or not, or if they care to look into it or not, that's realistically up to the brand. And then you can kind of face repercussions if they ever bring it up. But again, I'm just here to share secrets into the world, right? It's up to you if you want to use it or not.
Wow, I never thought of doing something like that. Damn.
So it's just
yeah.
like let's just call it ad arbitrage, right? But yeah, I do know of some people that do stuff like that, because you can't really, like, and other things that brands sponsor, you can't really do that. Like for a conference, you can't really fake conference goers, or that would cost a lot of money, right? But with ads, like, you go buy some ads in India, it's going to cost you probably 10 cents per person, maybe a little bit more, versus in the US, it might cost you 50 cents to $1 per person to get a view. So
Yeah, I mean, our conference is virtual, so I was thinking we can. I never. I always like keep things organic, see how far I can take it. But if we really need to, if there's like a sponsor, if we just like, depending on the vibes, we might experiment with some just like ads on like Instagram to like attend the online conference
you
for free.
see
Yeah.
online, it's so weird, right? So I thought that this was maybe just like some dark arts that small people use, right? Um, there are big name people that do this, right, from a ad sponsorship standpoint. But I've also seen for live events with live streaming, where we're talking international brands here are paying for bots on their live stream to make it look like people are actually watching. Like, I've seen it in person, and then like they get called out by the real streamers, because they know, like, real streamers know that if you have 25,000 people on a live stream, your chat should be going crazy, right? So why is it that if you have 25,000 people watching this thing, there's one comment every 3-4 minutes? So I was at an event and all these streamers are like, yo, like, let me get access to those bots. Let me get access to those bots. And all the people from the marketing team there were like, what do you mean? There's no bots. There's no bots. And we're all sitting there like, bro, why are you lying to us? And it's not a Fortune 500 company, but it's a international well-known brand that I've seen do stuff like this. And it's interesting because, again, just the rules of the game. You might just think this is things that small creators are doing, the dark arts type of thing, but no, this is how the game is played at sometimes very high levels too. Because again, if you're working that job and you know that you need to hit 25,000 people watching this thing, are you going to put your job at risk, or are you going to pay some person to figure out the bot technique for a few extra grand and you get to keep your job? It's a question to ask, right? It's a question to ask.
Yeah, I just feel like we're so beholden to the algorithm, and we arrived here because the algorithm is such a dark box.
I agree. And it is just crazy when you start to, again, this is kind of more like, I would say, yes, tinfoil hat, but again, I've seen it in person as well, so it's not necessarily just a conspiracy theory. But if you think about why can't Mr. Beast charge Super Bowl ad costs, right? Because from a number standpoint, it should be worth the same. And the best explanation that I've come up with in my head is, if you think about TV, it's very kind of similar to if we were to buy ads and no one know, because you don't really know who's actually watching your TV. It could be one person in the household. It could be 25 people in the household. It could be no one, because the TV is just on, playing in the background noise, right? And so when Comcast says that 100 million people are watching the Super Bowl, or whatever the number is, who's to fact check them?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to know.
Yeah, could be like
So
a
if
TV
you are,
party. Yeah.
yeah, and but like if you are that executive at a Fortune 500 company and you need to spend $20 million Q1 of every year and your Budweiser or whatever it is, where else can you spend that money? And there's no real way to prove that you were wrong. What would you do? You're getting paid 7 figures a year, right, to do this marketing job. Are you going to put your risk to work with Mr. Beast and potentially flop? Because you can flop on social. We've both seen it from a creator lens. Like, you can have millions of views and then your next post get 2,000, right? If you were in that executive spot, would you take that risk, or would you pay that bot person or pay
Like,
for the Super Bowl?
for my job, yeah, I probably want to keep my job. So,
But it's so crazy when you start to think
yeah.
about it like that, right?
Yeah, it's all because of the algorithm, man. If we had like a repeatable formula, I feel like then like everybody were making the same content and like, yeah, I could see. I feel like if the algorithm was like widely understood by the masses, everybody would be making like the same content, and there's like less creativity out there. Everyone would be like trying to repeat Mr. Beast or whatever popular LinkedIn content is there. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Yeah.
I know that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That stuff always interests me, like these little dark hacks, if you want to call it that, or secrets and things of that nature. There's a lot more than meets the eye, to quote Transformers,
There is.
when it comes to this stuff.
Because I've also noticed a lot of people, a lot of like brands who reach out to me. I can obviously see that their Instagram has a lot of like bots who follow them, and it makes me not want to work with them.
I mean, you've got people that I saw someone the other day, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Maybe this is the last topic that we talk about. I saw someone the other day raise money. We're talking millions of dollars for a startup that basically just gets brands to be a part of big creator engagement groups. You know what like an engagement group is?
Just like when you like everyone's posts.
Yeah, like if you're in like a big group chat, right? And so one person
Yeah.
posts and then you're like, okay, everyone go like and comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
So this company, apparently, I think it's being pitched as like a SaaS AI, as everything else in the world is right now. But essentially, it boils down to getting big creators or creators in general to get a part of this group chat, essentially, so that let's say you are, I don't know, L'Oreal, right? And instead of paying influencers to post on their own page, you're paying influencers to comment on your post. And I'm like, this guy really just raised millions of dollars for a group chat, which is crazy to think about.
Wait, what guy is it?
Dylan Huey, I think. Well, I don't know if Dylan's the one.
I
don't know
Dylan
if he's the one.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the one that raised it, but he was like a part of, or was like on the board of the company that raised it.
He's
I
coming
saw
to
it
my
from one of
party
his
tonight.
posts.
He came to my other party. He's
Dylan's cool. Dylan's cool. I like Dylan.
Dude, that's like big break though.
Yeah, but I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I get the concept behind the idea, but the fact that you raise millions of dollars for that is insane. Let me see if I can find the
yeah.
startup.
His
This is
agency
not
Reach
a
or
shot
something
at,
else?
at
No,
no. It's
Dylan's
not
a-
Reach. It's not
okay.
Reach.
Dude, Dylan's a great
It's
person. But that's like some big brain
Daisy. I
stuff.
think it's Daisy.
Okay.
Daisy Pay.
Daisy Pay?
Yeah. If you look at his profile and you scroll down.
His LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, if you
Oh,
look
Daisy
at Dylan's.
Pay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so they raised 3.5 million, I think.
Wow. It says building a thriving network of thousands of top influencers, average following 100K plus, paying out over 250K plus to creators as a new revenue stream where creators earn by amplifying brand content. Top 30% earning 2.5K a month or more. I mean, if I was a creator, and I would totally just do it. I just like comment. It's like so easy to do and make money.
Exactly. I mean, again, I get the platform.
Mm-hmm.
It is just wild that you're able to raise $4 million for
Yeah.
a group chat.
This is crazy. I just feel like, the people like understand the comments have the algorithm. They're willing to just put money on the table to fake authenticity, not fake, but artificially
fake
fake,
authenticity.
yeah, fake authenticity to keep your job at a Fortune 500 company making 7 figures a year. Just crazy.
Welcome to marketing. Welcome to marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my whole job now. ROI. But I do feel like on the bright side, there's a lot of great sponsors out there who I work with who have vibes as the KPI. They just want to have vibes and have a fun in-person experience and not make me report too hard about like how many sales they get and just want to work for me to bring the vibes, like overall brand vibes as the KPI. But it's like hard to measure on numbers. So there's some good out there, but also I can now understand why a lot of people buy followers and buy engagement. But it's crazy. $4 million raised for a group chat. Some ideas got cooking, but
Raise for a verified group chat. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
stuff.
I also said, like, I know people that used to run, like, they were making 5 figures a month from hosting engagement groups. Like, they would get people to pay into their engagement group essentially on like a monthly basis. Yeah, no, there's some wild business models out there that I've seen, especially like this is mainly for LinkedIn. Like, I know of people that have made monthly 5 figures, probably sometimes 6 figures on just creating engagement groups on LinkedIn.
So these engagement groups, basically people pay to be part of it and they just like amplify each other's posts and then they're facilitating it.
Yeah, so they would be the facilitator essentially, which again, if you think about it, it's kind of great from their standpoint because A, they get paid, but B, they also get to be a part of the group, which means they get boosted engagement typically. But it's like, okay, so let's just say if we wanted to do it, right, Grace, we get 20 people in our engagement group. Each of them is paying us $20 a month, or is paying me $20 a month. Let's say I'm leading it. That's what, $400? Or no, $400, I think, right? So that's $400 a month. But then you just scale that to just multiple groups of 20. Yeah, and some people were running that for a while. It's crazy.
I should do this for designers.
Like they did that, and like they would combine it with the post 30 for 30 challenge on LinkedIn. So it'd be like, hey, we're starting this group chat for 30 for 30. It's a accountability group chat. It's going to be $150 to be a part of this group chat to make sure that you're posting every single day or whatever. And then the upsell after that is like, hey, we built a great community, join our engagement group from there, right? So you get them addicted to posting. Again, putting the code, the cheat codes out there, whether you want to follow it or not, or if you think it's morally right or not, that's up to you. But there's a lot of interesting ways to make money. I would not personally do that, but it is interesting to see how some people have monetized that way.
Damn, I might have joined one of them a while ago, but I stopped paying for it because I'm not part of it. It's like this conference that I attended like 2 years back. That I joined their circle community because I wanted to access the recordings. Damn. Have some business ideas, but at the same time, I just like. This is so random, but it reminds me about the time when I had a really active food Instagram. I get so many messages about people joining their foodie engagement group, and they check if you like everybody's posts every day. If you don't, you get kicked out of the group. Or obviously, I don't go in that account anymore, so I got kicked out of all the groups because I didn't like
Again,
it.
when you start to realize that it's a lot of it is not as organic as possible or as you might think. Like, I remember the big TikTokers at the beginning, like the Charlie D'Amelio's and stuff like that. They have gone on record and said that they would literally have their younger brothers or sisters or whoever may be create fake accounts to then just comment as like Charlie fanboy accounts or whatever it may be to boost engagement on their posts and things like that. So again, it's kind of like reality TV show. How real is reality TV actually? Partly real, partly planned. Right? All these crazy things don't just happen because you get people in a room on an island, whatever it may be, for a certain amount of time. There are little like pokes and prods that you do to get people to react certain ways and put scenarios to happen that you hope will pan out in certain ways and things like that. But welcome to social. That's what I'll end with. Welcome to social.
Welcome to social media, where what you see might not what you want to believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Play the game how you want to play it.
Yeah.
Right.
No right or wrong
but
answers
understand the
here.
results.
Damn, I didn't know about that. Thanks for sharing.
I love it. Anything else before we jump? I think that's a good pod right there.
I think it's a great card. Welcome to social, everyone.
Welcome to social. Peace.
Peace.